Have you ever wondered if your kidneys might already be struggling and you simply don't feel it? Yet I'm Dr. Mark Ellis, and I need you to understand something that most Americans never hear until it's too late. You can lose nearly half of your kidney function without a single warning sign. No pain, no obvious symptoms, nothing dramatic enough to push you to the doctor's office. And by the time fatigue sets in, blood pressure climbs, or your lab numbers finally raise concern, the damage has often been quietly progressing for years. This is why chronic kidney disease is so dangerous, not because it's rare, but because it's silent. Millions of people in the United States are living with declining kidney function right now and have absolutely no idea it's happening. And what frightens me most isn't just kidney failure itself, it's the slow road toward dialysis dependence and losing the freedom to live life on your own terms. But here's the part that should give you hope: protecting your kidneys does not start with expensive detox products or extreme cleanses. It starts with understanding the simple, powerful ways your body was designed to protect itself and how a few overlooked foods can dramatically support that natural defense system. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to strengthen your kidneys before warning signs ever appear, using science-backed strategies that are practical, affordable, and within your control starting today. Stay with me, because what you're about to learn could quite literally change the future of your kidney health. Now let's talk about the first leaf, and in many ways the most underestimated one when it comes to long-term kidney protection: arugula. Most people think kidney damage starts inside the kidney itself. It doesn't. It starts in the blood vessels that feed it. Your kidneys are packed with millions of tiny, delicate filtering units, and every single one of them depends on steady, flexible, well-regulated blood flow. When those vessels stiffen, narrow, or become inflamed, the damage begins quietly, long before your lab numbers change. Arugula works at the level most people ignore: the vascular system. It's naturally rich in dietary nitrates. Inside your body, those nitrates are converted into nitric oxide, a powerful signaling molecule that relaxes blood vessels, improves endothelial function, and reduces arterial stiffness. Think of it this way: if your kidneys are a city, nitric oxide keeps the highways delivering blood wide open and traffic flowing smoothly. Without it, pressure builds, and pressure is what slowly scars nephrons. I once worked with a 62-year-old patient whose blood pressure was borderline. Not alarming, not dramatic, but over 10 years, that subtle vascular tension quietly reduced his GFR from the high 80s into the low 60s. No symptoms, just gradual loss. Studies supported by the National Institutes of Health show that nitrate-rich leafy greens significantly improve endothelial function and can lower systolic blood pressure over time. That matters because high blood pressure is one of the leading drivers of kidney failure in the United States. Now here's the important nuance: arugula does contain potassium in moderate amounts. For most people, that supports healthy blood pressure regulation. But if someone has advanced chronic kidney disease, potassium balance must be monitored carefully. This isn't about fear, it's about precision. Portion awareness, not avoidance. The real power of arugula isn't that it detoxes your kidneys overnight. It strengthens the roads that bring life to them. And when you consistently improve circulation, reduce arterial stiffness, and support nitric oxide production, you reduce long-term mechanical stress on the kidney's filtering units. But understanding blood flow alone is not enough, because even perfectly flowing blood can still carry inflammatory toxins that silently damage kidney tissue over time. And that's where the next leaf becomes even more important. Now here's where most people get it wrong. They focus only on blood flow, but they ignore what that blood is actually carrying. Because even if circulation improves, your kidneys are still forced to filter whatever toxins your body produces upstream. And this is where Cabbage becomes far more powerful than it looks. Cabbage works through what I call the gut-liver-kidney axis. It contains natural compounds called glucosinolates, which are converted when chopped or chewed into sulforaphane. Sulforaphane is not just another antioxidant trend. It activates phase 2 detoxification enzymes in the liver. That means your liver processes inflammatory byproducts and environmental toxins more efficiently before they ever reach your kidneys. Think of it like upgrading the waste processing plant before the waste even hits the filtration system. I remember a patient in his late 50s who struggled with low-grade inflammation for years. His CRP levels stayed mildly elevated, and his kidney numbers were slowly trending downward. Nothing dramatic, nothing urgent, But once he shifted toward a diet richer in cruciferous vegetables, especially cabbage, over several months we saw measurable reductions in inflammatory markers. His kidney function stabilized. No miracle, just physiology working the way it was designed to work. Research supported by the National Institutes of Health shows that sulforaphane can reduce inflammatory cytokines and oxidative stress, two major contributors to chronic kidney disease progression. But it doesn't stop there. Cabbage is also rich in fiber, which nourishes beneficial gut bacteria. Why does that matter? Because certain harmful gut microbes produce uremic toxins like indoxyl sulfate compounds, strongly linked to kidney damage. A healthier microbiome means fewer toxins entering the bloodstream in the first place. And here's another overlooked advantage: cabbage is significantly lower in potassium than many darker leafy greens, making it more flexible for individuals monitoring kidney health. So cabbage doesn't just detox, it reduces inflammatory load, supports liver enzyme activation, and improves gut balance, all of which decrease the burden placed on your kidneys over time. But knowing how to reduce inflammation still isn't enough, because there's another silent pressure damaging kidneys every single day in millions of Americans, and most people never feel it until it's too late. Now let's talk about the third leaf, and this one addresses something far more dangerous than most people realize, because it works against a threat that is completely silent: chronic pressure. Green leaf lettuce may look soft, mild, almost insignificant. It doesn't have the bold flavor of arugula or the scientific buzz around sulforaphane. But what makes it powerful is how it helps reduce the quiet mechanical stress that slowly scars the kidney's filtering units. Your kidneys filter blood under pressure every second, every minute, every day of your life. When blood pressure runs even slightly high for years, the tiny filtering structures, the glomeruli, are forced to withstand constant strain. Over time, they thicken, they stiffen, they lose efficiency, and once that structural damage occurs, it is very difficult to reverse. Green leaf lettuce helps from multiple angles. First, it is naturally low in sodium. Excess sodium drives fluid retention, and fluid retention pushes blood pressure higher. According to the CDC, nearly half of American adults have hypertension or are on medication for it. That's not a small number, that's a national epidemic. Every small dietary shift that reduces sodium burden lowers the long-term pressure load on your kidneys. Second, green leaf lettuce contains magnesium and antioxidants that support vascular relaxation and reduce oxidative stress. Magnesium plays a quiet but essential role in stabilizing blood vessel tone. Antioxidants help neutralize free radicals that contribute to vascular inflammation. Together, these effects reduce the sustained micropressure placed on delicate kidney tissue. I once spoke with a 64-year-old patient who said, "My blood pressure isn't that bad. It hovered around 138/86 for years. Not alarming, not dramatic. But over a decade, his kidney filtration steadily declined. No pain, no warning, just numbers quietly slipping. That's how pressure damage works, it accumulates." Let me ask you something directly. Do you think you might be eating more sodium than you realize? If you've ever added salt automatically without tasting your food first, comment, "Yes, I read those comments and you're not alone." Green leaf lettuce isn't flashy, but it helps reduce the long-term mechanical stress that silently destroys nephrons. And when you reduce pressure consistently, you protect structure. But even stable blood pressure isn't the full story, because there's one more factor that can determine whether waste concentrates and crystals form inside your kidneys, and most people overlook it every single day. And now we come to the fourth leaf, the one that seems the simplest yet may have the most underestimated impact on your long-term kidney future: romaine lettuce. Because here's the reality: most people don't think about your kidneys or filtration machines. And filtration depends on fluid balance. Every single day, your kidneys process roughly 50 gallons of blood, separating waste from what your body still needs. But when you're even mildly dehydrated, waste products become more concentrated. The blood thickens. The kidneys have to work harder. And that extra strain, repeated day after day, accelerates decline. Romaine lettuce is about 95% water. That might not sound dramatic, but hydration delivered through whole foods comes with structure, with potassium in moderate amounts, with folate, with vitamin K1, with protective antioxidants. It's not just fluid, it's supportive fluid. It gently helps dilute sodium, reduce urine concentration, and lower the risk of crystal formation that can lead to kidney stones. I once treated a patient who developed recurring kidney stones in his early 60s. He swore he drank enough water, but when we looked closely, most of his day was coffee soda and long gaps without real hydration. His urine was consistently concentrated. Once he began incorporating water-rich foods daily, including simple greens like romaine, and spaced hydration more evenly, the stone formation slowed dramatically. No extreme cleanse, just correcting chronic underhydration. Research consistently shows that adequate hydration lowers the risk of kidney stones and reduces stress on tubular cells, the cells responsible for reabsorbing nutrients and maintaining fluid balance. And romaine contains beta-carotene and polyphenols that help protect those very cells from oxidative damage. Folate supports vascular health by regulating homocysteine levels, while vitamin K1 helps maintain vessel integrity, both critical for long-term kidney circulation. Now here's the nuance: romaine does contain potassium, roughly around 245 milligrams per cup. For most individuals, that supports blood pressure balance, but for someone with advanced chronic kidney disease, potassium must be monitored carefully. Again, this isn't about fear. It's about awareness and portion control. Hydration is not a trend. It is a long-term survival mechanism for your kidneys. When waste stays diluted and pressure stays balanced, the filtration system ages more gracefully. And here's the part almost no one talks about: chronic mild dehydration over 10 or 15 years can quietly accelerate kidney decline without dramatic symptoms. That's why this simple daily habit can literally influence whether someone ever reaches dialysis. But even understanding hydration isn't enough, because the true deciding factor isn't any single leaf, it's what happens when these small choices accumulate over years. As we bring this all together, I want you to pause for a moment and recognize something important. The fact that you're here learning about your kidney health before a crisis forces you to already put you ahead of the curve. That matters more than you think. Your kidneys are working for you every second of every day, filtering, balancing, protecting, without ever asking for attention. The least we can do is give them consistent, intelligent support in return. Small changes in circulation, inflammation control, blood pressure stability, and hydration may not feel dramatic today, but over 5, 10, or 20 years, they can completely change your trajectory. If this conversation helped you see your kidneys differently, I encourage you to save this video so you can revisit these strategies and apply them consistently. Share it with someone you care about: a parent, a spouse, a friend over 50, because early awareness is one of the greatest forms of prevention. And make sure you subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications. I regularly share science-based practical medical insights designed to help you protect your kidneys and maintain long-term independence without hype, without extremes, just real physiology that works. Most importantly, remember, this kidney decline is not inevitable. Aging does not automatically mean dialysis. When you understand the mechanisms and act early, you give yourself options, you give yourself time, and you give yourself the possibility of living longer, not just longer, but stronger and more independent. Take care of your kidneys today, and they will take care of you for years to come.